Sacha Krishna Bhakti Prai Devi Satyavati Namo Namaha. Wait a second, okay? I'll bring it over. Vrindaya Tulsi Devaya Priya Kesava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Prai Devi Satyavati Namo Namaha. Vrindaya Tulsi Devaya Priya Kesava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Prai Devi Satyavati Namo Namaha. Shrimati Tulsi Devi ki jai.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Girivardhari Yasodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Bihari Gopi Jana Vallava Giri Vadadari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallava Giri Vadadari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallava Giri Vadadari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallava Giri Vadadari Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana 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 Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parikacharya Satarasada Shri Srimada's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sika Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinda Ki Jai Jai Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanath Shai Makunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 47, Verse number 66. Manaso Ritayo Nasyu Krishna Padambujashraya Vacho Bidayanir Nam Nam Kayastat pravanadishu Manaso Ritayo Nasyu Krishna Padambujashraya Vacha Bidayanir Nam Nam Kayastat Pravanadishu Manaso Ritayo Nasyu Krishna Padambujashraya Vacho Bidayanir Nam Nam Kayastat Pravanadishu Anyone? Manaso Ritayo Nasyu Krishna Padambujashraya Vacho Bidayanir Nam Nam Kayastad Pravanadishu Manaso Ritayo Nasyu Krishna Padambujashraya Vacho Bidayanir Nam Nam Gayastat Pravanadishu Nanaso Ritayo Nasyu Krishna Padambujashraya Vacho Bidayanir Nam Nam Kayastat Pravanadishu Manasaha of the minds Ritayaha the functions Na our Syu may they be Krishna of Krishna Pada Ambuja of the lotus feet Ashraya taking shelter Vachaha our words Abadayani expressing Nam Nam his names Kayaha our bodies Tat to him Pravana Adishu engaged in bowing down and so forth. Translation and purport by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Nanda and the other cowherds said, may our mental functions always take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. May our words always chant his names. And may our bodies always bow down to him and serve him. Please repeat. Nanda and the other cowherds said, may our mental functions always take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. May our words always chant his names. And may our bodies always bow down to him and serve him. Purport. The residents of Vrindavan were firmly convinced that even if they could not have direct association with their beloved Krishna, they would never be indifferent to him. They were all topmost pure devotees of the Lord. Om Jnana Timarandasya Gyanan Gyanan Shalakaya Chakshu Unmiditangena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam yena bhutale swayam rupa gadamayam dadati swabadantikam. Nama Om Vishnu Badaya Krishna Bastai Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Taramani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vacharani Nirvasesa Shunyavadi Prashtachadesh Tarani Panchakalpa Charubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyebacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The word indifferent is something we need to remember in this class because it's going to be brought up again in the tikas of the Goswamis. Because this indifference, which is a mild word to use, is our problem in this material world, is that the conditioned souls are indifferent or averse to Krishna. We're very busy with our business, and we have no real concern about Krishna's business. And when we have some concern or dedication to serving or worshiping God, it's because we're having trouble with our business here, and we need some help. Very rarely does one think about how one should help God. But of course the question comes up, why would you want to help God? He doesn't need any help. Well, he does need help. He needs help to enjoy. He needs help to enjoy pastimes. And therefore, the living entities are naturally, ultimately connected to the Supreme Lord in a loving relationship. And these pastimes that the Lord has with his devotees, this is how the devotees help the Lord enjoy, because they are the reciprocal parties in the relationship of love. No one thinks this way. It's because we're indifferent. We've become averse to being part of God's world. And so he's given us a world to be in, which is, we can see, full of strife and difficulties. And because everybody wants to be the center of everything, whatever it is. Some people's circles are very small, and some are very large, but we want to be the center. And Krishna is supposed to be the center, and otherwise it doesn't work. It becomes very, very discordant because everybody's center is overlapping other people's centers. So we'll listen to now the tikas. There's two tikas, one by Jiva Goswami and one by Sanatana Goswami. I'll read all of Jiva Goswami's tika and part of Sanatana Goswami's tika. Jiva Goswami speaking. Since the previous verse mentioned that they spoke with anuraga, the words of this verse are spoken with anuraga, not with the conception that Krishna was the Supreme Lord. After considering the talks with a predominance of respect for Krishna as the Lord, they express their true feelings with words of seeming agreement, while indicating their extreme internal grief in two verses. If you consider Krishna to be the Supreme Lord, and he is hard for us to attain, all our functions should concentrate upon him. We should not be indifferent to him. Our bodies should bow to him, our word should utter his names, and our minds should think of him. The word adishu indicates that their bodies should engage in service and other actions as well. And Srila Sanatana Goswami writes, may our mental functions take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, who is directly Bhagavan. This means that he should appear to everyone internally. May our words or our voices chant his names, such as Krishna, Damodar, and Govinda. Or the plural names is used to show respect. Our voices should chant the name Krishna. Our bodies should offer respects with devotion. We should also do menial services with our bodies, adishu. They pray for bhakti with engagement of mind, body, and mind, words, and body. And of course, we can turn to many verses in Bhagavad Gita that speak about this same mood. We have, for instance, Manmana bhava mad bhakto, madhyaji mam namaskuru, mam evaishyasi satyam te, pratijane priyosi me, which is the 18th chapter, verse number 65. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. And this is the only one. This verse is also the first two lines are the 34th verse of the 9th chapter. So this idea of manmana, thinking of me, mad bhakto, being my devotee, madhyaji, my worshiper, mam namaskuru, offer your obeisances. This is so important, these 4 points. Think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. These are all within our control. We can actually do this. We can think of Krishna, we can try to become his devotee, we can worship him, and we can offer our homage unto him. And there's other verses also. We can go to the 14th verse of the 9th chapter. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantas cha durdavrata namasyantas chamam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Satatam kirtayanto mam. Always chanting about me. So that's another verse talking about, and they're yantantas cha drita vrata, because they're very determined to always chant about Krishna. And also, Matchita madgata, this is verse 9 of the 10th chapter. Matchita madgata prana, bodhayanta parasparam, katayantas chamam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Matchita, their minds fully engaged in me. Matgata prana, their lives devoted to me. Bodhayanta, preaching, parasparam, among themselves. Katayanta, talking. Cha, also, mam, about me. Nityam, perpetually. Tushyanti, become pleased. Ramanti, enjoy transcendental bliss. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So this verse that we've read today, spoken by the cowherds and Nanda Maharaj, is echoed in Bhagavad Gita verses also. May our mental functions always take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. May our words always chant his names. May our bodies always bow to him and serve him. Manmana bhava mad bhakto, madhyaji namaskaru. So we have this here. This is very important. Now, looking at Jiva Goswami's purport, he begins by speaking here that they are speaking in anurag. Anurag is firm attachment in prem. There are different levels of prem, love of God. And that means that they have no conception that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They don't know that. That's because Vraj Prem completely blocks out that kind of understanding of God. We're indifferent in this material world, the conditioned souls. We don't think of God, or if we think of God, we think of him as helping us here. And saving us when our life's over so that we don't go to hell or whatever. But their not knowing Krishna as God is not like us not knowing. Us, we're just in ignorance. They are in a divine relationship with the Lord, and therefore to understand that the Lord is God is simply a disturbance. For us to understand that Krishna is God is a disturbance, but another way. It's because we're envious. So if we turn to Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are a number of places where this prema is described. And first and foremost, I'll go to this particular verse, which is Madhya 24:30. Bhakti Shabdera Artahaya Dasha Vidakara Eka Sadhana Prema Bhakti Nava Prakara. There are 10 meanings for the word bhakti, devotional service. One is sadhana bhakti, execution of devotional service according to the regulative principles, and the other 9 are varieties of prem bhakti, ecstatic love of Godhead. And then there's the 9. Then Prabhupada writes in the purport the 9 different varieties of prema bhakti, which are rati, prema, sneha, man, pranaya, raga, anuraga, bhava, and mahabhava, which are attraction, love, affection, adverse feelings, intimacy, attachment, subattachment. This is what anurag is, which means even stronger attachment than attachment. Ecstatic love, then sublime ecstatic love. And of course, Rudrani has Mahanakya Mahabhav, which is only for her, which is sublime, sublime, sublime ecstatic love. For the word sadhana bhakti, there is only one meaning: the execution of devotional service according to regulated principles. So for us ever to come to the platform of this ecstatic love of God, like it's described here, which is anurag, we actually have to go through a process of sadhana bhakti, which is service in practice to love the Lord. And Jiva Goswami speaks about that in his Tika further on. So he says, after considering the talks with a predominance of respect for Krishna as the Lord, they, the cowherds, express their true feelings with words of seeming agreement, while indicating their extreme internal grief in 2 verses. And then they say, if you consider Krishna to be the Supreme Lord, and he is hard for us to attain, all our functions should concentrate upon him. We should not be indifferent to him. And so this is a lesson for us. If we consider Krishna to be the Supreme Lord and that he's hard for us to attain, then what should we do? All our functions should concentrate upon him. If we see him as God, he's all high, then we have to concentrate on him. And how do we concentrate on him? Our bodies should bow to him, our words should utter his names, our minds should think of him, and we should offer service to him as well. In this way, our lives then become encircled about Krishna. Krishna becomes the, as Prabhupada uses the word, the cynosure, which means the center of our vision. This is the meaning of sadhana bhakti. But sadhana bhakti is divided into different types of sadhana bhakti. There's Vaidhi bhakti, and ultimately there's Raganuga bhakti. Excuse me. So Raganuga bhakti and Vaidhi bhakti in the early stages, they're going to, the process of that kind of sadhana is going to look similar because the stages are similar. So what's the difference between Vaidhi and Vaidhi bhakti and Raganuga bhakti? The difference is who the guru and the disciplic succession is. In some cases, the disciplic line is teaching Vaidhi bhakti. And there's Vaidhi prem. There's prem in Vaidhi. That prem is the love of Narayan. It's on reverence. You're loving God, God the great, God the distant. A relationship is there, service is there, but it's sort of like the common people and the king. They see him when he comes on procession. They see him in his big, with all his raiment and everything. It's like, the King of England, the common person sees him on TV in a formal way. But his family, they see him in informal, more intimate ways. So we have Raganuga Prema. And Raganuga Prema is the prema that's being described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which has these 9 different levels, 10 if you count the last one, Mahanakya Mahabhav, which is only for Radharani. And that sort of prema is prema in Madhurya, or sweetness. And that sort of prema is the prema, or the love, that's being directed to us, given to us by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the disciplic succession to Srila Prabhupada. This is what a great gift this is. The gift that Prabhupada is giving the whole world, because he actually takes the Chaitanya Bhakti movement out of India and brings it to the whole world. Before that, you go back to 1955, and if anybody knows about the Gaudiya Math or Chaitanya, or the movement of Lord Chaitanya, they're going to say, oh, this is a regional, Indian thing, maybe just a Bengali thing. It's very interesting, and the people who follow it, that's their thing. But Prabhupada's made it everybody's by giving the opportunity for all of us, no matter who we are, where we are, to actually become Krishna conscious, following in the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the 6 Goswamis, and our line of disciplic succession through Srila Prabhupada, and even beyond now, because there's gurus initiating in his line now. So this is the great gift of Srila Prabhupada. So let's try to understand a little more about how it is that our attempts to become Krishna conscious ultimately lead to pure devotional service, because we may be thinking sometimes, it's a long way. How can I actually realize this sort of highest real level of bhakti? So for that, we'll turn to Chaitanya Charitamrita again, and we'll look at chapter 23, and I'm going to be doing verses Madhya Lila. And I will speak, actually I'm also going to speak from a list here too first, just to set it straight. So what are the stages of sadhana bhakti? This is not a verse, this is just a list. The first thing we have to have, the 9 stages of bhakti, is we have to have some faith. The faith that somehow or other there is something other than what is in this material world. Now, the material world is giving us some difficulty, it's giving us maybe some pleasure, but we're not satisfied by what we feel and see in this world, and we have to have some faith. If we don't have that faith, then we'll simply go off into, like Prabhupada said, the planning commissions and so many other things to try to ameliorate the problem, and it won't be taken care of. So that faith leads us to sadhu sangha, which is association with sadhus. We somehow or other find ourselves going to a temple and associating with devotees. In the case of someone coming to an ISKCON temple, associating with devotees who are following Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada is this ultimate saint, so that the association of devotees following Prabhupada is actually getting Prabhupada's association. In that association with the saints, one may meet a guru, someone accepted as a guru, and that's bhajana kriya, which is performance of devotional practices under the direction of the guru. So, and that really means planting the seed of bhakti in the heart. Once that happens, then we enter the stage called anartana vritti, which is a long stage of purifying our selves from unwanted attachments, anartas. Artha is something that's wanted, dharma, arta, kama, moksha. Arta. It's something that's one. Sometimes it's translated as financial or material development, economic development. But it's something wanted. And anarta means it's something you don't want. Anger, greed, lust, vengeance, fears about this or that. So many psychological and mental states. After practicing for some time, we come to the state of steadiness, which means that we aren't moved by anything around us to become disturbed. Bhakti doesn't work, or this is a problem, or I can't understand this. Maybe this is all not true. But also we have a taste. I want to get up every day. I want to chant. I want to engage in service, and we become steady. It's our life. And that steadiness leads us to ruchi, or taste. We get some taste. Now, we'll talk about this taste later. This taste is not the same taste that the Raganuga devotees in Braj are tasting. It's not the same. It is of a variety, it's a reflection. Then asakti means we're attached. We become attached. Again, this is not the same attachment that is in Prem Bhakti. But it's attachment to what? Engaging in the service, and getting the taste, being a devotee. And then finally bhav. And this bhav, again, is not the same as the bhav in Prem, but it's love, preliminary. Prabhupada calls it the seed of Prem. And we can still fall down from bhav. That's the story of Bharat Maharaj. He fell down from bhav because he became inattentive. Now, when they're in Goloka Vrindavan, there's no inattentiveness. All attention is on Krishna automatically. There's no inattentiveness. They don't fall down. They don't say, I'm going to give up Krishna. No, that's impossible. But when one's in bhav, on the stage of sadhana, one can still become bewildered by the material energy. So this list is very important, because this list tells us the stages that we actually follow through in the process of bhakti. So going to verse number, Madhya Lila 23, verse number 13. No, that's got the wrong verse. Here we go. Se bhava gandha haile, dare prema nama, se prema prayojana, sarvananda dhamma. When that ecstatic emotional stage intensifies, that's bhava, it is called love, it becomes love for God. Such love is life's ultimate goal and the reservoir of all pleasure. And Prabhupada writes in his in the purport, devotional life is divided into two stages, sadhana bhakti, and he says bhava bhakti. Sadhana bhakti refers to the development of devotional service through regulated principles. The basic principle for the execution of devotional service is faith. Above that, there is the association of devotees, and after that, there is initiation by a bona fide spiritual master. After initiation, when one follows the regulated principles of devotional service, one becomes freed from all unwanted things. In this way, one becomes firmly fixed and gradually develops a taste for devotional service. The more taste grows, the more one desires to render service to the Lord. In this way, one becomes attached to a particular mellow in the Lord's service, Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. As a result of such attachment, bhava develops, and bhava is the platform of purified goodness. By such purified goodness, one's heart melts in devotional service, and bhava bhakti is the first seed of love of Godhead. So, it's an emotional stage that precedes pure love. So, what does this mean for us? Do we get a taste? How can we go on in Krishna consciousness? Raso varjam raso pyasya param drishtva navartate. It says that, you can't stay fixed unless you get a taste. Well, there is taste in Krishna consciousness even when we're not actually on the stage of the pure devotees we see in Braj, or someone like Prabhupada. That's because Krishna is so merciful that he allows anyone who connects with him to actually have some access to tasting love for him. So, in the Nectar of Devotion, it's in chapter 18, Prabhupada's speaking about different types of attachment, and he talks about what's called imitative attachment. And it's divided into two headings, namely shadow attachment and para, transcendental attachment. Both of them are sometimes called shadow attachment. The first shadow attachment mentioned is when a person is actually attached to material things and salvation and so many things in this material world, and they act in ways which are actually not genuine. They're like the sahajas. They're acting, making up the symptoms of pure love, and that can't last. It's not really actually real. But Prabhupada says sometimes it is found that a person actually attached to material enjoyment or salvation has the good fortune to associate with the pure devotees while they are engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord. By the good grace of the Lord, one may also cooperate and join the chanting. At that time, simply by the association of such pure devotees, the moon-like rays from their hearts reflect on him, and by the influence of the pure devotees, he may show some likeness of attachment called inquisitiveness, but this is caused by inquisitiveness, but this is very flickering. And if by the manifestation of such shadow attachment one feels the disappearance of all material pangs, then that is called para attachment. Para attachment, which is a form of this, what we would call the introductory offer of Krishna for devotional service, can develop if one associates with a pure devotee or visits holy places like Vrindavan and Mathura, and if an ordinary man develops such attachment for Krishna and fortunately performs devotional activities in the association of pure devotees, he can also rise to the platform of pure devotional service. So we get attachment by being in association with those devotees who have love for Krishna, because their hearts reflect within our heart. So it's sort of like you see these movies where someone's being saved from being underwater, and someone goes down and they've got an oxygen tank, and they've got plenty of oxygen, so they share their oxygen with you because you don't have any oxygen. You're going to drown, but they can share the oxygen they have, and that oxygen feeds us with pure love. The conclusion is that transcendental attachment is so powerful that if such attachment is seen manifested even in some common man by the association of a pure devotee, it can bring one to the perfectional stage. But such attachment for Krishna cannot be invoked in a person without his being sufficiently blessed by the association of pure devotees. So, what is ISKCON? ISKCON is the association of pure devotees. We're meant to become purified so that we can give purified association to new devotees. And the new devotees become purified so they can give association to others too. It's not like we're all meant to stay at a platform of some sort of neophyte stage, and by some magic we are transformed at the time of death into going back to Godhead. I mean, that can happen. Prabhupada can come for someone, anybody. But really, one should be making progress to becoming what's called Jivan Mukta, or liberated in this life. By being attached to Krishna, one is dead to the material world before one has even left the body, and become completely attached to Krishna's abode, Krishna's name, Krishna's form, and in this way we get some glimpse of what it's like for the denizens of Vrindavan to speak these beautiful words with anurag, with this attachment of complete love for the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. Questions? Yes, that's the next paragraph. Yeah. So the Rudrani read another sentence which says, by the associate, that we have to be very careful in the association of pure devotees not to commit offenses, because these offenses, they can extinguish our attachment for the pure devotee. And therefore, we have to have the association of pure devotees, and those pure devotees will give us prema, but we cannot make offense. Hare Krishna.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalem Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Pan Kayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham
Yashoda Violu Kalat Davamanam Param Drishyam Atyanta Rupagopya. Get the sheets. Get the sheets. Get the sheets, I say. Rudantamuhur netra yukmamijantam kadam poja yukmena shatanka netram. Muhuswashakam patire kanka kanta Sita daivam damodaram bhakti vadam Tire Sita graivam no Iti Driksha Lila Virananda Kunde Swagosham Nima Chantam Akyapayantam Kadiyeshita Geshu Bhaktayar Jitatvam Puna Prematastam Shata Vitivande Varam Deva Moksham Na Mokshavadim Va Nachanyam Vineham Vare Shadapiha Idam Teva Purnata Gopala Balam Sada Meman Yasya Virastam Kimanyai Idam te mukham bojam achanta nilaya Vitam kuntalai snigdha raktaista gopya Muhustum bitam bimbaratadaran me Manasya virastam alam lakshalabhai Namo Deva Damodarananta Vishnu Prasida Prabodhuka Jalabdi Magnam Kripadristi Visyati Dinambatanu Riha Nesha Mama Gyame Jakshi Drishya. Kuberat Majo Pada Merchaiva Yadvat Tvaya Mochi To Bhakti Bajo Krito Cha. Tata Prema Bhaktim Sakame Prayachcha Namokshe Grahome Sri Damodareha. Namaste Sudamne Sporadipti Damne Twadiodarayata Visvashadamne. Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya Namo Nanta Lilaya Devaya Tubhyam. Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya Namo Nanta Lilaya Devaya Tubhyam. Namam Ishvaram Satchidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Prajamanam. Yashoda Bioluka Ladavamanam Padam Drusham Atyantato Drutagopya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe. Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. To the Supreme Controller, who possesses an eternal form of blissful knowledge, whose glistening earrings swing to and fro, who manifested himself in Gokula, and who then quickly jumped up and ran in retreat in fear of Mother Yashoda, but was ultimately caught. To that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances. Upon seeing his mother's whipping stick, he cried and rubbed his eyes again and again, his two lotus hands. His eyes were fearful and his breathing quick, and as Mother Yashoda bound his belly with ropes, he shivered in fright and his pearl necklace shook. To this Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, who was bound by his devotees' love, I offer my humble obeisances. Those super excellent pastimes of Lord Krishna's boyhood drown the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy. To the devotees who are attracted only to his majestic aspect of Narayan and Vaikuntha, the Lord herein reveals, I am conquered and overwhelmed by pure loving devotion. To the Supreme Lord Damodar, my obeisances hundreds and hundreds of times. Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for liberation, nor eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon. My only prayer is that your childhood pastimes may constantly appear in my mind. O Lord, I do not even want to know your feature of Paramatma. I simply wish that your childhood pastimes may ever be enacted in my heart. Lotus face, which is encircled by locks of curling hair, had become reddened like bimber fruit due to Mother Yashoda's kisses. What more can I describe than this? Millions of opulences are of no use to me, but may this vision constantly remain in my mind. O unlimited Vishnu, O Master, O Lord, pleased upon me. I am drowning in an ocean of sorrow and am almost like a dead man. Please shower the rain of mercy upon me, uplift me and protect me with your nectarian vision. O Lord Damodar, in your form as a baby, Mother Yashoda bound you to a grinding stone, a rope for tying cows. You then freed the sons of Kubera, Manigriva and Nala Kubera, who were cursed to stand as trees, and you gave them the chance to become your devotees. Bless me in the same way. I have no desire for liberation into your effulgence. O Lord, the entire universe was created by Lord Brahma, who was born from your abdomen, which was bound with a rope by Mother Yashoda. To this rope I offer my humble obeisances to your most beloved Srimati Radharani and to your unlimited pastimes. Jai. Chaito Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagi Nirvapanam Shreya Kaira Vichandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Patipadam Ramitasvardanam Sarvatmasna Param Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakali Bhagdani Jasava Shaktis Tarchar Pitani Amita Smarane Nakalo Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Dardaivam Idrishami Hajanina Niraga Trinada Pisa Nichena Tarora Pisa Hishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagarisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmanishware